Hey y'all, so just real quick, often I get asked, what is Watch the Gap? What is Watch the Gap about? And all right, so just in a nutshell, before I launch into this whole tirade, Watch the Gap is a platform that I want to establish for a return back to wellness. And what that means is fitness to me is a very socialized term, right? And it's often being weaponized. I want to get back to wellness. Wellness to me is a more holistic approach to fitness. It includes the mind, body, and soul, right? And we're using ourselves to heal ourselves. We're not using totems or items that exist outside our body by which we think by channeling belief that we're going to get to where we get to. No. We're going to be agents of our own change. We're going to be held ourselves accountable and move from a space that we're empowered from. We all have free will, right? So Watch the Gap is a platform that wants to encourage people to move back to wellness. So like I hear it all the time, yo, yeah, you're giving away free information, free this, free that. All right, let me break it down to you. This is how it works. My page is committed to creating an exercise library, not only consisting of my videos, but of other people's videos as well. Just have a platform for all of us. I'm taking a one for all approach, right? We're not in any competition. We all belong in our own disciplines, in our own narratives, and we can all respect that. Watch the Gap is a platform for where people are celebrated for our differences. And we're revered for what makes us the same. Right? This is not a competition. Just because I can deadlift 500 and you can't squat 2 pounds, what does that even mean? The fact that we're both here in that shared space means more than anything, right? Because wellness to me is about that shared connection. Wellness is about what's really missing from fitness, the human element. We're investing in a whole bunch of things like athleisure. We're investing in brands like SoulCycle, Peloton. We're investing in gym memberships at X, Y, or Z place. But it's like, why? What does that really mean, and what does that signify to you? Watch the Gap is a place or a platform that wants to move away from all that. Even now, you see how I'm socialized to wear Nike. I feel good. If this was any other logo, maybe I feel different. But we don't want to do that here. All right. So coming soon, I'm dropping a clothing line called See and Be Seen. All right. And the premise behind that, all my logos will be reflective. I'm coming out with a whole bunch of things that will all be reflective, not just clothing. So stay tuned. And the theory behind See and Be Seen is that fitness for me is an extension of my identity. Right? It was how I became seen when I was young. So for a long time, I was just a smart black kid in the back of the class. Right? I had no voice really growing up in a relatively stern Haitian household. And I'm gonna say stern like this. If you know, you know. Haitian household, my voice was often silenced. And that was not intentional. That's just the cultural psychology, right? That children should conduct themselves as such. And over time, I realized that I didn't like that. I wanted to be seen, right? So see and be seen. I wanted to be seen. So I began to invest in my physical self because I knew that the returns that I were getting chemically, right? Because when we work out, we get endorphins, we get that rush, would help me to perform better, to be a better human. So tying that into wellness, healing from within. Right? So that's what I kept doing. So I got faster, I got stronger. And over time, instead of being the smart black kid, now I was the smart black and fast and strong kid. Ooh, I got 4 adjectives now. Right? And eventually that morphed into Yael. Yael Saint Armand. Yael Azer Saint Armand. And I became seen for the first time. So be yourself for yourself. See and be seen. All right, so that's the whole concept behind the clothing. So that's also another extension of the Watch the Gap platform. Also, I'd like to share with you guys another dream that I have is creating another platform called Bridge the Gap. This is important to me because the Bridge the Gap is representative of a space in fitness I don't think or wellness rather, I don't think a lot of people see. The very young and the elderly, these are often populations often left ignored, right? So let me show you how it ties into See and Be Seen. So Bridge the Gap, I want to be the philanthropic arm of Watch the Gap, where not only do we reconnect the youth and the elderly back to wellness, but we also reconnect the world back to wellness through visual mediums. Let me break it down. So Bridge the Gap will operate in several ways. First, going around in different communities and finding empty spaces or like spaces that aren't necessarily being used or even walls and murals and such and reclaiming that space. So whether that means, turning a condemned building into a wellness space with like hopscotch or a playground or, seats or, turning a gym into more of a community center where we're now bridging that gap between fitness and or wellness as a whole body approach, or fitness as a whole body approach. Whether it means drawing something nice, I got nice handwriting, whether that means like drawing positive affirmations around the neighborhood, around the world, or whatever have you, you know what I mean? And I want that to be like bridging gap. Also designing clothing for the youth and elderly, because athleisure is really targeted at this new aesthetic that fitness is moving, right? It's the sexualization of the body. There's no reason why I'm a girl and I'm doing squats with my booty facing the camera, and that's okay. That's your niche, and that works for you. But understand, for someone who may have knee valgus, right? They're not going to know how to execute proper squat because you didn't cue them, right? Or they're not going to know how to fix pronation of the foot or a foot turning inward. They're not going to know that, right? So this is what I want it to be. Wellness is a shared experience. It's my responsibility as a human being to reach out to you and teach you about wellness. What I know is a shared experience. That's what professions are for. As a personal trainer, I'm a skill that is personified. We pay people for these things because as a human, we can't do everything. But for me, it needs to be an equivalent exchange. If you're going to pay me for something, I need to give you something equivalent in return. I want you to be a better human being through wellness. So bridging the gap is really about connecting the elderly and the youth through merchandise, reclaiming visual mediums in neighborhoods and communities, and so on and so forth, especially because of the way that the world is heading. We're investing a lot into wellness, and I want to bridge that gap and have people really understand what wellness is, right? So yeah, that's what really the Watch the Gap platform is about, connecting people through wellness. Oh, sorry, last thing. So how it works. Yes, I'm making a collection of exercise videos and workouts that I'm going to be putting on my page, as well as my YouTube and IGTV, right? I want these to be a collection of not only my work, but again, you can send me your stuff, please. We'll talk about the formatting, and I'll post it up as there, so like people can just come to my platform and search, or come to our platform and search you up. And also really just expand that to the world. Then I have my virtual classes where, again, I'm connecting people back to wellness. Mobility, we do a lot of mobility workout, we do actual workout. And Focus Fridays, we do a lot of postural training and breathing exercises. Really, again, attacking fitness, heal from within. That's what it's really about. Wellness does not exist outside of you. Don't let these people get you fooled. Wellness does not exist outside of you. It's something from within. And lastly, we have the other arm, which is personal training, where now I break it down because it's individualized. People have to understand that. There's a difference between working out and a workout program. Again, you think I'm giving a lot of free game. I am not. It is very different when it is individualized to you. Okay? It is very different. But if you come to my classes, my virtual classes, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m., you will understand a little bit more about how to execute certain moves, right? But again, there's a difference between working out and a workout program. Workout program is very targeted towards a specific goal. In order to achieve that, we move through a SMART goal system. Your goal needs to be specific. It needs to be measurable. Again, let me stress this: measurable. This is how we achieve a wellness goal. It needs to be measurable. It's not like, oh, today I look this, I look that. Your eyes aren't rulers. No, we're going to track it. It needs to be obtainable. That goes without saying. It also needs to be relevant to you. Not all goals are relevant to you. And I want to stress this. Let's say I am who I am right now. Let's say I'm right? And I want to be able to press overhead 225 pounds. But my shoulders are tight. Should be a wellness goal for me? Open up your range of shoulders. Open up your range of motion in your shoulders. Get them healthy so you can do it. Yes. That goal is more relevant. And it also needs to be time-based. Please, guys, put yourself on a schedule. Don't just let it all willy-nilly. Practice. That's why workout program is way better than working out, because it anchors you into what your long-term goal is. And also, last thing about the Watch the Gap platform, I encourage people to also look at the goal beyond the goal, because Watch the Gap is also about infinite growth and infinite evolution. So, the W's in Watch the Gap, the white stands for where you were. The middle part stands for where you are. And the last part stands for where you are going to be. The process of infinite evolution, right? So if you were to draw and infinity symbol, it will connect it. So I'll come out with that as well. So look how it works. As you advance to where you want to be, that instantly becomes who you are. And in front of you is where you want to be. You never get satisfied. You never get comfortable. But again, look at it like this, because I want to shift perspectives about wellness. Wellness is not only limited to the mind, the body, but to your soul and mind too, right? If you fall back and go back to where you were, it is only to gain a new understanding of where you came from, right? So I fell back from where I was, right, to who I was, but that became who I am now. So in front of me is who I want to be. It becomes a new space. So when I stand on that again, I have a double layer of understanding. I can now firmly step on that foundation. And even if I fall back, that still becomes who I am, and where in front of me becomes who I want to be. But then when I step forward, I have a third layer of understanding. I can stand more firmly there to advance. All right, so that's really what the Watch Your Gap principle also advocates. Watching the gap between these three positions, but understanding that there is no gap. Like the Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, three things in one. It is you. This is your journey. It's about you. But anyway, that got me chatting today. So yeah, I appreciate everyone who really stuck with me today, and this is a vision that I have. And you can reach out, please. Again, send me your videos. Go to my website, follow my YouTube. I'll be on IGTV as well. I'll be expanding on Twitter, posting a lot of positive affirmations for you guys, maybe tips and stuff, really trying to understand that. And that's it. So yeah, watch your gap. Love your basement, lift your ceiling.